Hi, and thank you for watching my video. I just want to spend a little bit of time sharing my gear, how to actually shave a lot of weight off of your backpacking trips and make it a more enjoyable experience. I've seen a lot of videos where people are bragging about their 30 and 35, 40-pound packs. That's not ultralight. I'm a minimalist and I believe in just bringing the bare minimums, keeping my pack weight down as low as possible so I can cover more ground. I've had days where I've actually covered up to 34 miles with very minimal effort because I'm not carrying a lot of weight on me. Get very detail oriented into the things that I'm actually carrying in my pack, but I won't spend a lot of time talking about food and different items as far as how you want to prepare your meal or anything like that. Start off with my pack. I am a big fan of my Yola CDT pack. The pack with all the trimmings, all the extras that actually came off, taken off, comes down to about 18 ounces. I love this pack. It's basically just a duffel bag with a mesh netting on the outside, some side pockets for your bottled water or drinks. Um, it's got a really thick padding on the shoulder straps. It's very comfortable. It's got a nice padding on the hip belt. Some really nice wide pockets if you want to carry anything in these pouches here. It doesn't have a suspension and it doesn't have an internal frame. Another thing too is it doesn't have any kind of a padding. So what I've done is I bought a torso pad. This is a trifold torso pad that I use when I sleep. It also doubles as a sit pad if I want to. I use it as, keep me off of the ground and also as back support in my pack. I think I paid about 20 bucks for it. It's not a thermarest. I'll be lying if I said I remember where I bought it. I think it was on Backcountry Edge, but it's worked great for me. I've experimented with a thermarest. I had to cut it down. It's still big and bulky. I still couldn't get it to fit very comfortably in my pack without taking up a lot of room. Whereas with the trifold shape and design of this actual pad, it fits very nicely. It's easy to stow away and stick into my pack. Now, my base weight is generally, depending on the season, between 20 and 25 pounds. A lot of that, of course, depends on if I'm expecting heavy rains, if I'm expecting it to get cooler or whatnot. But lately, I've been doing a lot of three-season camping. I've been early May, fall, things like that. And have to have a little bit of versatility when you're in the mountains, but you don't have to worry too much about really heavy gear to keep you warm. So my solution is I normally have a pound and a half down-filled sleeping bag that I use for colder weather. It's good for about 30, 35 degrees. I haven't had to use it lately. So my solution is I bought what's called a Soul Escape Bivy. It weighs 8 ounces. You can buy them for about $30. It's actually made out of a material very similar to Tyvek's. You might think it's fragile by the way it feels, but I've had no problems at all. It's kept me warm. Temperatures is down low as 40 degrees. I never had to worry about layering my clothes. I just basically had shorts and a t-shirt on, and I was very warm. A lot of other people that had down quilts, heavy sleeping bags, and things of that nature complained about how cold they got. Pulling this out, show you very simple. It does have a hood system on it, so if you want to draw it up and cinch it around your head, you can retain body heat that way. It also has a reflective body heat, and it's not like that cheap nylar material. It's actually really soft. It doesn't crinkle up and make a lot of noise. The one complaint I do have about this, even with my torso pad, is you have no extra padding between you and the ground. So you've got to get used to the idea if you want to shave some weight that you're not going to sleep too comfortably on the ground. If you're a hammock person, which I've not transitioned to yet, this might be a great solution and still save you some weight and help you sleep more comfortably. Now, getting into my tent, I use a Henry Shire tarp tent. It's still nylon. It weighs about a pound and a half, and it integrates with my trekking poles. They actually provide the support. I don't have to carry any additional poles or anything like that. So, you've always got your trekking poles with you, and it sets up in about 4 minutes easily. I'd show it to you, but unfortunately, I don't have any room in here to set up or anything like that. It is drying from my last trip. I had no problems at all with leaking. It had awesome vegetables. Literally, the vegetables were so big, I could have literally stuck 4 packs underneath it, or cooked, or done things of that nature. So if you haven't heard of them, look up Henry Shire. Just do a Google search, Henry Shire tarp tents. I've talked to the guy myself. It's a mom and pop business. They've got awesome products. I use the Notch model, and they actually have 2 different options. They have a partial covered floor, which actually protects you from wind, sand, things of that nature. It's more of a 4-season tent. It adds only an ounce of extra weight to your tent. It'll keep you nice and warm. I've used that a lot this year. And then you have one that just has a mesh netting and it doesn't have the partial. It'll save you about an ounce of weight. Personally, my thing is, unless you're doing a lot of camping in the extreme heat, you'd probably be better off with paying the extra, what, 15, I think it's like an extra $15 to get the partial. So my main three, my bivy, 8 ounces, 18 ounces for my pack, pound and a half for my Henry Shire tarp tent, brings my main three down under 5 pounds. That's where all your weight is. So everything else that I show you is just extra things that don't really add up to a whole lot of weight. One thing that a lot of people are intrigued by, I've talked to a lot of backpackers, hikers, they carry around propane or gas stoves, butane stoves, even seen people brag about their jet bowls. Now, they're nice, but they still weigh a lot. I've got a very simple system. I bought this by GSI. It's called the Minimalist. It's a 5.5 Ultralight cook system. It's got a neoprene sleeve that you can use. It insulates your actual pot. It's got a rubber sealed pot that also has a zipper on it. Now, what I did, I've experimented with alcohol stoves, and I didn't like the idea of having to carry 9 ounces of weight for fuel alone. Then I have, what is it, about a 4 or 5 ounce stove. It just seemed like a lot of extra weight. So this is my stove for all intents and purposes. It's a windscreen. It's made out of aluminum. It weighs 2 ounces. It's got holes in it. I can clasp it together. I use a piece of aluminum foil. I stick it underneath it. I've got these metal rods, or nails actually. I can stick them through the holes here. You would want to do it at an angle, so it'll actually provide you top support. And I can actually cook on top of this. I use Esbit cubes as my fuel. They're only about half ounce, good for about a 12-minute burn time. Whereas with alcohol stoves, I was having to use 1 to 2 ounces to get that much burn time. So I've saved a lot of weight by transitioning, and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you know, alcohol is more readily available, it's cheaper to buy. It's really not that much cheaper. The good thing about Esbit cubes is I've had no problems at all cooking in the pouring rain with them, especially with this stove. It also acts as a windscreen. All I do, again, this is my aluminum foil. I stick it underneath it, stick the Esbit cube on it, light it, and I'm good to go. Like I said, I've cooked in the rain before and I have no problems. And the good thing about the Esbit cubes is if you don't use the whole thing, you can blow it out, hang on to it for later. It's completely sealed in a packet that preserves them from any damage. I don't have to worry about spills or leaks with an alcohol stove, and it's just very convenient. Things that I also have inside of my cook system: waterproof matches and a striker. Um, with the Minimalist cook set, it does have pot grippers, which actually work really nice. The first time I used them, I really wasn't paying attention, and I just stuck my thumb in here and tried to pinch from here and burn myself. Make sure that when you do fill your pot, you leave about an inch of room from the top. It's good for 2 cups of water, which is plenty for me to get coffee and a meal at the same time. It does come with a sport that's collapsible. I think they call it a foon or something of that nature. It seems flimsy, it's light, it's a pain in the butt to clean on the trail. It's worked for me. I've tried a lot of different options, but I like how compact and light it is. Another thing I really like about this spork is it's got a really deep spoon on it, and I've been able to eat soup with this very easily. If you're not familiar with Esbit, this is what the box comes in. They come in boxes of 12. Again, they're half ounce each. All you do is you pry open the foil, light it, and you're good to go. And if you ever find yourself in an emergency situation, you need a way to start a fire, and it's pouring rain, you don't have any wet kindling or anything like that, again, these are great fire starters too. Everything I use, I try to find multi-purpose so that I can justify carrying the weight. To explain how this cook system works for me, I'll put 2 cups of water, bring it to a boil, and believe it or not, even though this is rubber, I've never had any problems, even with open flames touching it, burning the rubber or causing any damage to the rubber here. Make sure that when you do boil water, that you do not put the rubber side down back into the pot. You have it flipped upside down, and it's got a little opening here. Once you start seeing steam come through it, your water is full. You're good to go. Most of my meals are dehydrated, and I'll stick them inside of my neoprene cozy to keep them warm. I'll pour my water inside of the Ziploc bag that I have, eat straight out of it. Keeps me from burning myself, and I don't even have to worry about a dirty pot. If I decide that I want to drink some hot coffee or anything like that, then I'll go, or chocolate or soup or anything like that, I'll mix it with the remaining amount of water that I have in here. Stick the sippy lid or whatever you want to call it on top, and that's it. It's very simple. Again, this whole system weighs 5.5 ounces for the Minimalist GSI pot, cup, the grippers, and the spoon or fork, if you want to call it that. Again, my stove, 2 ounces. Half an ounce for each one of my Esbit cubes. So, for a 5-day cook system, if you're cooking dinner and breakfast, it's going to be 5 ounces of fuel versus my normal 10 ounces of alcohol fuel, like heater, things of that nature. Plus, I don't have to carry around a heavy container, and I don't have to worry about anything leaking. So it works great for me. Like I said very early on, I'm a minimalist. I really don't care a lot of extras. One thing that I have found to be a lifesaver, I bought a Sawyer squeeze. I think I paid $34 to $39 for it. I try to plot my water as best as I can, but I don't like to carry a lot either. I like to keep my weight down. It's great to know that no matter where I'm at, I have a way to filter my water. I've got a platypus in here. It's a 1 liter platypus. All I do is fill it. This is my dirty bag. I fill it. It's got a universal adapter in the back of your Sawyer squeeze where you can take anything that has a threaded top on it, such as your typical water bottles that you buy from the store. So just twist it on here once you fill it up. Make sure that you're not using your hands that you've actually touched water with to actually open up the cap on this, because then you can contaminate your water, and of course we know that defeats the whole purpose of even having a filter. So use your mouth, pop it open, squeeze your water into whatever container you want to drink it out, and you're done. Now, let's say you're in a rush. You really don't have time to sit there and pump or filter water. All you gotta do is fill up your dirty bag, close it up. When you get to camp, you can filter it. If you're thirsty and you want to drink right away, you don't want to have to wait for iodine tablets, which taste terrible, then all you have to do is just fill up your bag and drink straight out of here. Again, it's a pull-up cap just like you would buy on a sports bottle, so it's very convenient. This whole filter system for the Sawyer squeeze weighs 9 ounces. I don't know exactly how much these platypus bags weigh. I'm guessing it's probably right around an ounce. So it's very easy. Even if you think you're not going to have problems with filtering water, I strongly encourage. I've been in situations where I didn't think water was ever going to be an issue, and I was very thankful to have this. If there's any one thing I will guarantee that will always be in my pack is this, because we can go days without eating, but the amount of time that you can go without water is very limited. For $34, $35, I'd say it's a great insurance policy, especially for the weight. When you're carrying things like bug spray or any kind of tubes or anything, don't buy the big aerosol ones. All you need is a little pen-sized one that has a cap on it, pump spray. This is good for, I think, like 180 squirts. It's more than enough to get you through a 5-day trip. I know it has been for me. Earlier on, I mentioned my Solscape Bivy for my sleep system. You can do things like roll up clothes or use your pack for a headrest rest your head at night. But I found that I like using a pillow. It's a 2 ounce pillow made by Hyperlight Airport. It's called the Cocoon Travel Pillow. It's a synthetic fill, and it's very simple to use. You just open the cap. It works like a lot of your inflatable air mattresses. Now, one thing I learned by trial and error is you don't want to blow this thing all the way up. It actually fills up pretty full, and your neck will not feel rested at all. You'll feel like your head's raised too high off the ground. It's got a really soft covering on the outside here, but I still like to wrap it in a shirt or a towel or something of that nature. It's very comfortable though, and I've never regretted having it with me on a camping trip. It's better than balling up dirty clothes or anything like that. I did buy one of these pack towels. It was the large one, and I was kayaking on a trip where basically weight wasn't as much of an option, but I knew I was gonna have to keep dry. It was raining the whole time. I was in and out of the water, so I had a 10 ounce full size pack towel. But for backpacking, I don't need that much weight. I trimmed it down to about a quarter. I'm down to a 2 ounce pack towel. I mean, this is a lot of material. It's only 2 ounces, and it's more than enough for any situation where you need to dry off. They don't retain moisture. They dry really quick. They're really soft to the touch, and it's a great thing to have. As far as my toiletries, I keep it very simple, but unfortunately, I do wear contacts. This is my toilet paper. It's really simple. All you have to do is just pull it off the roll it up, scrunch it together, stick it inside of a Ziploc bag. I use Ziploc bags instead of a lot of dry bags. I do have a first aid kit here. Basically, I tore apart a pre-made first aid kit. I simplified it by just putting enough things in there to get me through a 5 day trip. I do have a lot of, I advise too, Advil and Tylenol, or ibuprofen and Tylenol. Ibuprofen's an anti-inflammatory, so it helps with your sore aches and muscles. And I'll be honest with you, it's been a lifesaver on the trail, and I actually have to combine both. Tylenol is good for a lot of the aches that you get in your body and your head and things like that. This is really good for your joints. It's an anti-inflammatory again, and I would encourage carry not just one or the other, carry both. I do, in the event of an emergency, have military issued um, water treatment system. Now, these are all in powder form. It's mainly using bleach, but the great thing about it is they actually sanitize your water within about a 17-minute period of time, whereas your typical iodine takes 30 plus minutes. Again, I mentioned that I do wear contacts, so I do have an extra spare pack of contacts. I do have a contact case, but instead of carrying a cap, which is extra weight, and putting saline solution in each one of these sides, and of course requiring more saline solution, I just put both my lenses in one cap and close it, and I'm good to go. One thing I do not go without on all my trips is earplugs. We know that the little critters like to run around at night. It can be kind of restless, especially on top of a mountain where it's very windy. I remember nights where it sounded like my tent was being shredded apart and I just couldn't sleep even with these earplugs in, but they're nice to have. I just take a squirt bottle of sanitizer. Again, it's zero point 0.5 ounces, very lightweight. It's more than enough for a 5 day trip. Just in case I do need it, this is camp soap, very lightweight. It's 50 sheets, so I can use it to wash with if I find a stream, river, lake, or anything where I can take advantage of some extra water without having to tap into my supply. It's also great if you want to clean your pots and pans and things like that also. This is just basically a small travel tube toothpaste. I emptied out most of it. It's about halfway full. You can buy these at Walmart. Basically, it's a toothbrush. It came with an extension that closes over top of it. I just tore it off and dropped the weight down. Instead of carrying around a whole bottle of saline solution, I just use an eyedropper that I put over the saline solution. This has actually been more than enough for a 5 day trip. I've used only half of it on a 5 day trip. So again, if you're in the same situation as I am, where you don't like to wear glasses and you're a contact person, there are ways to carry your contacts around and not have to worry about carrying a lot of extra weight. All in all, I have about 9 ounces here for my toiletries, and that takes care of me for a period of 5 days without having to worry about skimping or losing out on anything that I might need. And again, with my toiletries, I also have my first aid kit as well. So it's not just Bath and Body Works in here. It's also first aid survival gear as well. I was doing like so many people using the smart bottle to carry around my water in. It's great for measuring 2 liters of water. I carry two of them. So I have 1 liter in each bottle. I recently switched over to Boathouse Farms bottles. Basically, these are 1.5 liters each. I found myself in a position where 2 liters isn't always a dependable amount of water to carry, even when you've mapped it out. Run into panic situations where I literally had to wake up the next day not knowing if I was going to find water within a reasonable amount of distance. So I've opted to actually start carrying 3 liters of water now. Just a little bit of advice for while you're out on the trail, and some other things that I like to carry too. Um, you don't have to go very hardcore with the flashlight. I've seen people carry these heavy aluminum mag lights, things like that. I'm very simple. I like to use a headlamp. This is made by Black Diamond. It's called a Revolt. I like the fact that I can recharge it. Have I ever recharged it? No, I just use your standard batteries because the life is very long on them. I paid about $55 on Amazon for it. I got a great deal. Somebody had bought it and they never even opened the box. Um, I do like to find a lot of great deals on Amazon. It's a good place to go if you're looking at saving some money on your camping gear. The other great thing about this too is 110 lumens, so I get a very bright light that lasts a long period of time. I think it's 120 hours. Don't quote me on that. Do your research. I am a very big fan of the Frog Togs rain gear. I know I could go with those lightweight emergency ponchos, but they're not comfortable to me when I'm backpacking. I also don't like the way the hood actually doesn't fit on my head that well. So it's a nice. And the other thing is, again, this is dual purpose, so it's thick enough material where if it is cooler at night or gets chilly, I can wrap myself in it or wear it as a windbreaker or a jacket. So it's dual purpose. It's comfortable, soft, it packs up very light. And these are my Frog Tog pants. These are the only pants I carry with me in the summertime. Summer, fall, and spring because you don't need a lot of clothes. Most of my clothing basically consists of cut off sleeve, moisture wicking shirts. You can go to Walmart, buy them made by Starter. They weigh maybe a couple ounces each and only 7, 8, $10, depending on how elaborate you want to get. I do always make sure that I bring a long sleeve base layer just in case. And other than that, I carry the moisture wicking boxers that are very lightweight as well. They're also comfortable, they don't stink, and they don't build up odor. I usually carry 2 sets of clothes. The set that I'm wearing, a backup dry set, and I carry a long sleeve base layer just in case. For colder seasons, I do carry a 10 ounce 800 fill down jacket. It's made by Craig Hoppers. I got a really good deal, $69 on Amazon. It packs up about the size of a softball. They normally run about $200. I'm looking at some Montbells right now. I could save myself about 4 more ounces. Have I shut out the money? Is it cold enough to worry about it right now? No, so I'll hold off for a little while. And a lot of people have different options for bear bags. I just keep it very simple. This is made by Seal Line. It's a 20-liter bag, which is actually way too big. I should have probably gone with maybe a 10-liter bag or a 5-liter bag. But I like the fact that there's a lot of different hang options. It seals up very tight and it's water resistant. So I don't have to worry about, of course, any anything happening to my food when I actually hang it, even though everything's wrapped up in Ziploc bags. Now, another thing that I've seen on the trail all the time, especially with thru hikers, is they carry pack covers. I don't carry anything on the outside of my pack that I have to worry about being exposed to water. I've literally had my pack completely filled and left it right out in the pouring rain. It's never been a problem. My solution is just take compactor bags, stick them inside your bag, roll them up tight, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about carrying the extra weight because I have a pack cover, but it weighs 5 ounces. And really, what's the point of carrying it around if you've got an alternate solution? And it's a lot of trouble to put around your pack anyways. Another thing I did do, I used to carry around a 5-inch fixed blade paracord knife. I also carried around a 7-ounce solar panel. Solar panel failed, and it was just never worth my time to sit there and leave it in any particular place and wait for it to charge. And basically, eventually, water, rain, things like that destroyed it. As far as the knife goes, I was happy with the 5-inch fixed blade paracord knife. Thing is, it was just too much weight. So I decided to go with the Leatherman style CS pocket knife. Basically, it's got a really nice pair of scissors. It has tweezers on here, a nail file. It can be doubled as a screwdriver. It's got a bottle opener, a decent sized knife, and it weighs 0.6 ounces. So for all intents and purposes, this will take care of me while I'm out in the woods, and it saved me another 4.5 ounces, which is something I do a lot of. You'll be surprised how an ounce here and an ounce there adds up really quick. So as you can see, I'm very simple when it comes to what I pack. I don't need a lot of things. Basically, most of my weight is about anywhere from 2 to 6 pounds of, 4 to 6 pounds of water. On a 5-day trip, it's been advised carry 2.5 pounds of food. For me, I end up losing weight regardless. I have a fast metabolism, so I focus on about 1.5 pounds of food and just catch up on food. Again, it's 5 days. 1.5 pounds will get me through 5 days with no problems. If I was through hiking like the AT, of course, I'd want to be eating a lot more because I couldn't afford to lose the weight. But suffer 5 days, get back home, and recover. One thing that I've had a lot of trouble with in the past, and this is just kind of a side thing, is I've had a lot of problems where I've lost my nails, and a couple things that I've realized was my shoes were too tight. If you want to give yourself wiggle room, make sure that you have enough space to stick 2 fingers in between the heel of your foot and the back of your shoe. So make sure that you always have a lot of extra room in your shoes. Couple reasons: your feet swell. You are going to be wearing padded socks, which are going to take up a little bit more extra space. Another thing I noticed is that my toes rubbed a lot, and I would end up with blisters not under my feet, but actually in between my toes. This has been a great solution. These are Injinji socks. They're kind of pricey. They're very well padded. They separate each one of your toes individually. They do dry very quickly. They don't retain odor or smell. And I've bought 3 packs, and I change my socks very frequently because I've learned through previous trips how sensitive your feet can be and how painful and unenjoyable a trip can be once you've caused some damage to your feet, even with options like moleskin. Like I said, I've lost nails and I've had to duct tape them down, and it literally felt like someone was taking a pair of pliers and they were trying to yank my nails out with every step I took. Another thing that I'm a really big fan of, these are Solomon Trail Speedcross 3s. They've actually got really good grip. I've run through oil with these on flat surfaces and haven't slipped. I love them on the trail. They're extra well padded. They're true to size fit. They have ready track laces where basically you just pull, pinch, and then tuck your laces. You don't have to worry about tying them. They don't come undone. You don't have to worry about things of that nature. They've got a really hard padded toe on them. They're very lightweight. They're comfortable, and I've never found a pair of shoes that I was able to cover so many miles, whether it's trail running, backpacking, anything of that nature, and not have the extra stress on my knees and my feet, and have seen a big reduction in the amount of damage I do to my toes between those socks. and those shoes. I'm always up for ideas on how to save money, get my weight down a little bit further. Looking around, I really don't have much here. I keep it very simple. So if you have any suggestions on what I could do to get my weight down a little bit more, or maybe make my trips a little bit more comfortable, and if you would like to add anything, certainly feel free to add some comments to this. I appreciate you viewing my video, and I'll look forward to maybe putting something up soon with some quick ideas. Thanks again.